in the highlands of Tinguian, lived the most beautiful woman in all the world, Aponibolinayen. Desired by many, promised to one, yet driven by fear into the unknown. This is her story. The most beautiful girl in all the world was Aponibolinayen of Tinguian. Many young men had come to her brother, Aponibolinayen, to ask for her hand in marriage, but he had refused them all, for he awaited one who possessed great power. Then it happened that the fame of her beauty spread over all the world till it reached even to Addison, and in that place there lived a man of great power named Gagawan. Now Gagawan, who was a handsome man, had sought among all the pretty girls but never, until he heard of the great beauty of Aponibolinayen, had he found one whom he wished to wed. Then he determined that she should be his wife, and he begged his mother to help him win her. So Tinguian, the mother of Gagawan, took her hat which looked like a sunbeam and set out at once for Tinguian, and when she arrived there she was greeted by Abang, the mother of the lovely maiden, who presently began to prepare food for them. She put the pot over the fire, and when the water boiled she broke up a stick and threw the pieces into the pot, and immediately they became fish. Then she brought Bossy in a large jar, and Tinguian, counting the notches in the rim, perceived that the jar had been handed down through 9 generations. They ate and drank together. Then after they had finished the meal, Tinguian told Aponibolinayen of her son's wishes, and asked if he was willing that his sister should marry Gagawan. Aponibolinayen, who had heard of the power of the suitor, at once gave his consent. And Tinguian departed for home, leaving a gold cup as an engagement present. Gagawan was watching at the door of his house for his mother's return, and when she told him of her success, he was so happy that he asked all the people in the town to go with him the next day to Tinguian to arrange the amount he must pay for his bride. Now the people of Tinguian wanted a great price for this girl who was so beautiful, and the men of the 2 towns debated for a long time before they could come to an agreement. Finally, however, it was decided that Gagawan should fill the spirit house 18 times with valuable things, and when he had done this, they were all satisfied and went to the yard where they danced and beat on the copper gongs. All the pretty girls danced their best, and one who wore big jars about her neck made more noise than the others as she danced, and the jars sang Kaita, Kaita, Kanata, Inka, Inka, and Kata. But when Aponibolinayen, the bride of Gagawan, came down out of the house to dance, the sunshine vanished, so beautiful was she, and as she moved about, the river came up into the town, and striped fish bit at her heels. For 3 months the people remained here feasting and dancing, and then early one morning they took Aponibolinayen to her new home in Addison. The trail that led from one town to the other had become very beautiful in the meantime. The grass and trees glistened with bright lights, and the waters of the tiny streams dazzled the eyes with their brightness as Aponibolinayen waded across. When they reached the spring of Gagawan, they found that it, too, was more beautiful than ever before. Each grain of sand had become a bead, and the place where the women set their jars when they came to dip water had become a big dish. Then said Aponibolinayen to his people, "Go tell Gagawan to bring an old man, for I want to make a spring for Aponibolinayen." So an old man was brought and Aponibolinayen cut off his head and put it in the ground, and sparkling water bubbled up. The body he made into a tree to shade his sister when she came to dip water, and the drops of blood as they touched the ground were changed into valuable beads. Even the path from the spring to the house was covered with big plates, and everything was made beautiful for Aponibolinayen. Now during all this time Aponibolinayen had kept her face covered so that she had never seen her husband, for although he was a handsome man, one of the pretty girls who was jealous of the bride had told her that he had 3 noses, and she was afraid to look at him. After her people had all returned to their homes, she grew very unhappy, and when her mother-in-law commanded her to cook she had to feel her way around, for she would not uncover her face. Finally she became so sad that she decided to run away. One night when all were asleep, she used magical power and changed herself into oil. Then she slid through the bamboo floor and made her escape without anyone seeing her. On and on she went until she came to the middle of the jungle, and then she met a wild rooster who asked her where she was going. "I am running away from my husband," replied Aponibolinayen, "for he has 3 noses and I do not want to live with him." "Oh," said the rooster, "some crazy person must have told you that. Do not believe it. Gagawan is a handsome man, for I have often seen him when he comes here to snare chickens." But Aponibolinayen paid no heed to the rooster, and she went on until she reached a big tree where perched a monkey, and he also asked where she was going. "I am running away from my husband," answered the girl, "for he has 3 noses and I do not want to live with him." "Oh, do not believe that," said the monkey. "Someone who told you that must have wanted to marry him herself, for he is a handsome man." Still Aponibolinayen went on until she came to the ocean, and then, as she could go no farther, she sat down to rest. As she sat there pondering what she should do, a carabao came along, and thinking that she would ride it while she climbed up on its back. No sooner had she done so than the animal plunged into the water and swam with her until they reached the other side of the great ocean. And thinking that she would ride for her while she climbed up on its back. No sooner had she done so than the animal plunged into the water and swam with her until they reached the other side of the great ocean. There they came to a large orange tree, and the carabao told her to eat some of the luscious fruit while he fed on the grass nearby. As soon as he had left her, however, he ran straight to his master, Ini-init, and told him of the beautiful girl. Ini-init was very much interested and quickly combed his hair and oiled it, put on his striped coat and belt, and went with the carabao to the orange tree. Aponibolinayen, looking down from her place in the tree, was surprised to see a man coming with her friend, the carabao, but as they drew near, she began talking with him, and soon they became acquainted. Before long, Ini-init had persuaded the girl to become his wife, and he took her to his home. From that time every night his house looked as if it was on fire, because of the beauty of his bride. After they had been married for some time, Ini-init and Aponibolinayen decided to make a ceremony for the spirits, so they called the magic betel nuts and oiled them and said to them, "Go to all the towns and invite our relatives to come to the ceremony which we shall make. If they do not want to come, then grow on their knees until they are willing to attend." So the betel nuts started in different directions and one went to Aponibolinayen and Naupangin and said, "Ini-init is making a ceremony for the spirits, and I have come to summon you to attend." "Grow on my pig," answered Aponibolinayen, so the betel nut went onto the pig's back and grew into a tall tree, and it became so heavy that the pig could not carry it, but squealed all the time. Then Aponibolinayen, seeing that he must obey, said to the betel nut, "Get off my pig, and we will go." The betel nut got off the pig's back, and the people started for the ceremony. When they reached the river, Gagawan was there waiting to cross, for the magic nuts had forced him to go also. Then Ini-init, seeing them, sent more betel nuts to the river, and the people were carried across by the nuts. As soon as they reached the town the dancing began, and while Gagawan was dancing with Aponibolinayen he seized her and put her in his belt. Ini-init, who saw this, was so angry that he threw his spear and killed Gagawan. Gagawan explained that she was his wife who had been lost, and the people were very much surprised, for they had not recognized her at first. Then all the people discussed what should be done to bring peace between the two men, and it was finally decided that Ini-init must pay both Aponibolinayen and Gagawan the price that was first demanded for the beautiful girl. After this was done all were happy, and the guardian spirit of Ini-init gave them a golden house in which to live. The Tinguian folktale of Aponibolinayen and the sun teaches the importance of resilience, courage, and perseverance in overcoming life's challenges. It emphasizes bravery in facing the unknown and adapting to new, difficult situations, as Aponibolinayen navigates magical obstacles to build a life with the sun, Ini-init. Every story has a lesson, and every journey continues. Thank you for watching Bahay Kubo Chronicles. Subscribe for more stories from the heart of the Philippines.